In my opinion, the U-Wing and the TIE Reaper are the least straightforward ships to fly in Star Wars Squadrons. Fighters, interceptors, and bombers all make sense right away, and it doesn't hurt that we've been familiar with X-Wings, TIE Fighters, Y-Wings, TIE Bombers, A-Wings, and TIE Interceptors for decades. But both the U-Wing and TIE Reaper were introduced in Rogue One only 4 years ago, and flying support is something I have yet to master. Fortunately, I have a good friend who loves flying support, and in Operation Ace, the Squadrons tournament we participated in a couple weeks ago, he kept us alive for 5 hours straight. On top of coming in second for most assists, he had the least deaths by a wide margin. He was dying on average less than 4 times every single match. Last week we did a stream together and he had a lot of good advice on playing support, so I wanted to condense that down for anyone looking to get better at that class. So here is my friend Ashton on his loadout and strategy, and this is footage of him actually playing support that we all recorded together the other night.
Alright, so there's a few different things you can do with support ships pretty well, and the way that I was thinking about it when we were starting this game was I was thinking about it kind of like Overwatch, right? Where you've got like, roles where you're fully going support, and then you've got roles where you're kind of trying to be a hybrid and trying to help with the offensive side of things. And I just said screw that and decided to be Mercy, basically. So, yeah. I'm going to start with the primary weapon. I actually take an ion cannon because, like I said, actually taking out enemies is just like not my department when I'm flying this ship.
And you super proved that in the tournament.
Yeah.
Ashton got 0 kills in 5 hours of play.
5 hours. I didn't even crash into anyone and kill them. I don't know how that didn't happen. But anyway, so I had an ion cannon because my thought was, okay, well, every once in a while maybe I can take pot shots at somebody and disable them, because that happens really fast when you actually get a beat on somebody. Or I can just shoot it at the shields on like a, frigate or that sort of thing, which I did sometimes, just to help take the shields down a little bit. So that's why I did the ion cannon. Let's see. Next thing, left auxiliary. I left that as the supply droid, which is your default when you start with a support ship. The supply droid is just really useful because it fills everyone's ammo and heals them. It kind of goes without saying. That's pivotal. And then with right auxiliary, because I was deciding to just fully go into just support, I take the tactical shield as well. And what that allows you to do is you can heal someone and also throw a shield on them simultaneously. So if they're actually taking damage at the time when you apply those things, the shield stops them from taking the damage while they're actually healing back up with the supply droid, because the supply droid is kind of like a regeneration, not an instant heal, if you're thinking about it from like
and I should say that
terms.
On the Imperial side of this, having a shielded TIE fighter is the best feeling in the world.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But on the flip side of that, fighting a shielded TIE bomber is the most annoying thing in the world. Seeing one coming, you're like, ugh.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, especially with Imperial list, I think it's very effective, and it also just gives you, if you are wanting to play 100% support role, it gives you something to do before firefights even start happening, or like right when you and some other people respawn, because you can go around giving tactical shields to your enemies before the fight, or to your teammates before the fight actually starts happening. So yeah, and then I'll just go through the rest of the things real quick. Countermeasures, I use Particle Burst. I use Particle Burst because you get more of them than you get the Sensor Jammer. And also, it has a pretty short cooldown. The cooldown's only 9 seconds. And I find that if I am, like, the Seeker Warheads I've heard are better if you're doing sharp turns. But, like, when I was doing sharp turns, I was drifting. So if I'm drifting, generally speaking, I can boost and throw missiles off my trail anyway. So I would rather have the Particle Burst for times when a missile's, about to hit me and I don't have any boost. I can just drop that. So that's my thinking with the Particle Burst. For the hull, and I've actually changed since the tournament. In the tournament, I was using the Reinforced hull because that gives you a lot of extra health. But it does cost you a lot of maneuverability and acceleration, which is detrimental if you're trying to fly fancy.
Sorry, which hull did you get?
I used the reinforced hull.
Molly literally just walked in our mustache squadron shirts got here. And she just
nice.
Hell yeah.
put it on me. But yeah, we have official Stash Squadron logo if anyone wants it. Designed by Boomstick. But sorry, continue. Reinforced hull.
Yeah, so I use the reinforced hull just because it gives you a lot of health. So you can, kind of take a beating and then fly off. Because with the next thing, I'll skip the engine. The engine, I use the propulsion engine because that gives you the extra 100% acceleration.
Mm-hmm.
So my thought with this ship was that maneuverability wasn't nearly as important as acceleration because I'm not really dogfighting. So I don't really need to stick on somebody's tail precisely. I need to get away from people when I start getting attacked.
Which you did. You got fewest deaths by a lot.
Yeah. And so that was also why, going back to the hull, why I was using the reinforced hull, because I knew I would have the acceleration to, once I got turned in a different direction, to just leave the fight, basically. And I figured that the health would help me survive long enough to get turned around and move.
Yeah, watching some of the other recordings from the other teams, when someone would try to kill Ashen, you just see him drifting and boosting and drifting and boosting and just zipping away real fast.
Yeah, that was kind of my thought. I wouldn't usually go straight towards them like we were jousting. I would kind of put myself at a 90-degree or 45-degree angle to them, and then just book it away from wherever they were trying to go. Because then it became kind of an opportunity cost. Do they chase me for a long time?
Yeah.
That's taking them kind of out of the fight, or possibly into the danger zone. So yeah, since then I've been kind of playing around with the slipstream light hull because it gives you even more acceleration. It gives you some maneuverability, but it does come at the cost of your max health. But all support ships have shields, so is 20% of your max health really that big of a deal? I don't know. I haven't really decided yet. I've been kind of playing around with both of them. But the reinforced hull is tested though, because I did play with that the whole day when we were doing the tournament. So there's that.
And you do standard deflector shield?
Yes, I do the standard deflector shield. The other ones I don't really think are worth it.
How often were you having to return to rearm yourself? Did you do that? Was that a pretty big part of your rotation?
Yeah, probably once or twice a game, I would run out of supply droids faster than I was getting killed by someone.
Did you ever try dead firing your last one and then flying into it?
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work? Okay. I was
tried
just curious. Yeah, I was curious if that was a thing that you could do.
Yeah, no, that would be horrendously broken, because then I would be replenishing my own droids. But yeah, no, it doesn't work. I did try that. But yeah, so that's pretty much my whole loadout. And like I said, having the shield and the droid just means that you can basically spend the entire game with your targeting on my squadron, and then just cycling through everyone. And then what I would do is I would cycle through looking for anyone that was taking damage or was damaged, and then book it to where they were and help them out. And if nobody's damaged, then I would second priority was looking for anybody that didn't have a shield on them, or whose shield was damaged a little bit. And I tended to prioritize people that were flying interceptors over bombers, because bombers can survive a little bit better on their own. If they start taking damage, I think that it makes a bigger difference on interceptors. But unless we're like just going on offense and I know a bombing run's about to happen.
Yeah.
Obviously that kind of changes things.
Real quick, I see super chats in there. Thank you, Mitch. Just saying the merch is totally wizard. And MJ Allied, thank you. You got your t-shirt today. That's awesome. Thanks, guys. And I've seen questions in the chat. We will take some questions. I just wanted to let everyone go through their builds first, and then we're gonna play some, and we'll try to answer any questions that people have.
Yeah, I just want to say, Ashen's role as a support on our team, I think is a massive part of our success. He would send heals to people sometimes, and it was like he had premonition about what needed to be done.
Yeah.
It would just come out of nowhere, and he would save your life.
He was the wind
incredible.
beneath our S-foils.
Yes.
Well, and the thing I was going to say, the one last point that I was going to make is that the tactical shield also has a much longer range than the supply droid does. So that's another nice thing about taking the tactical shield. It's also a lot less visible to the enemy because it just looks like a little blue missile, so they're much less likely to shoot it. And so it gives you something you can do as you're trying to get to someone who's taking damage. You can go ahead and fire the shield, and then follow it up with a supply droid as soon as you're within range. Sometimes that can make the difference. So that is why I like taking both of them.
Cool.
Anyway, that's pretty much everything with mine.
There you have it. One thing I don't think he touched on much was the fact that we did try to prioritize saving Ashton when we could. Communication is key in this game, and when he called out that he needed help, we did our best to keep him alive so he could turn around and keep us supplied and alive. If you're being attacked, double tap A to target your attacker, and then hit Y to ping your attacker so your allies know who to prioritize. Hopefully those tips help you become a better support player, and you can follow Ashton on his Twitch channel, Yeti Boatman, which I'll link to in the description. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.